Hello, dear beloved audience. Today we're stepping into an episode that, even I have to say this in advance, will pull your emotions up minute by minute. Both Truong and tiieunu will face moments they never expected. After losing his memory, Truong believed he was just an ordinary man living with his foster mother. But day by day, vague fragments begin to surface, echoes of voices, fleeting images that tighten his chest without warning, as if someone is waiting for him, as if he once held a very small hand and made a promise so important he would have given up his entire life to keep it. And tiieunu, every time the morning breeze brushes past her, her heart aches with a feeling she cannot explain. Not pain, but instinct, a quiet certainty that her man is still somewhere out there, finding his way back to her. His eyes may have forgotten, but his heart has never left. Will Truong be able to follow the pieces of memory slowly awakening inside him? Will tiieunu recognize the destined moment when the man she loves is walking closer to her step by step? And will their reunion be a moment of pure happiness or the beginning of a new trial?
Everything lies right ahead, and I promise you won't want to miss a single second. If you love this journey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so we can walk together toward the most important moment of this story.
And now, let's begin the journey where Truong's heart may awaken forever. As the first rays of dawn slipped through the treetops and brushed softly across the old tiled roof of the small house on the hillside, Truong had already been awake for a long while. He no longer wore the sharp police uniform he once carried with pride. No badge, no dark blue shirt symbolizing duty, justice, and the life he used to live between right and wrong. Today, he wore only simple clothes, a faded t-shirt, worn-out trousers. But to Truong now, everything felt foreign. He didn't know who he used to be. He didn't know what he had lost. Behind the emptiness in his mind was an entire life suspended in the dark, full of unfinished promises he could no longer remember.
He only knew this. He lived here in this small house with the woman who saved his life, the woman he called Mother. The morning air was crisp, leaves whispered overhead, and the scent of last night's rain still lingered on the soil. Truong was chopping firewood in the backyard. Each swing of the axe was steady, precise, too precise for someone who claimed not to remember his past. But he had no idea where such instincts came from. Sometimes he would stop, stand still for a few seconds. Flashes flickered in his mind, the blare of a siren, red and blue lights, a child screaming "Dad," a woman's voice breaking into tears. Every time a memory tried to resurface, a sharp pain cut through his skull, and everything dissolved again. Behind him, the old wooden door creaked open. His foster mother stepped outside, her small frame, carrying an expression filled with worry, a worry that had lived inside her for far too long. She wasn't alone. Beside her was a man in his 50s wearing glasses and a neatly buttoned shirt, a doctor. Truong looked at them, frowning slightly. Did you call me mother? She nodded, but her eyes held more than care. They held a fear she had buried for months. Stop working for a bit, son. There's someone who wants to meet you. Truong set the axe down, wiped his forehead, and walked toward them. He studied the doctor politely but cautiously. Another instinct from a life he couldn't recall. He aches. The doctor smiled gently. Hello, Truong. Your mother asked me to come see if we could help you recover some of your memory. Truong was silent for a moment, then lowered his head slightly. I don't know what I've forgotten, but all this time I keep feeling like someone is missing. His foster mother quickly turned away, hiding the redness in her eyes. For months, she had watched every moment, the sudden headaches, the disoriented dreams, the way he'd stare into the distance as if waiting for someone to step out of the empty space before him. The doctor guided Truong to sit on a stone bench under the old mango tree. He opened his bag and pulled out a few photographs. Try looking at these. Tell me if you feel anything. Truong picked them up, one by one. A dusty village road. A small market with faded tarps. A yard with a bamboo fence. Each image struck a faint chord inside him, as if tapping on a locked door. But just as the familiarity began to rise, a stabbing pain shot through his head. He gripped the bench tightly. That's enough, he whispered through clenched teeth. His foster mother rushed to his side. It's okay, son. Take your time. But the way her hands trembled revealed a deeper fear. Fear that when his memories returned, he would leave her life forever, even though she had treated him like her own blood. The doctor studied her expression carefully. His memories aren't gone, he said quietly. They're blocked. His mind is protecting him from something painful in his past. Truong lifted his gaze. But if I cannot remember, how do I know who I truly am? Silence weighed heavily over them. His foster mother stepped closer. She tried to sound calm, but her voice wavered with hidden grief. You are Truong, the son I saved, the son I raised, the son I love. If the past hurts you, then you don't have to remember. The doctor glanced at her immediately, recognizing the truth. She knew something she had never spoken aloud. He said gently but firmly, You know well that if he doesn't know who he was, he'll never be whole. She lowered her head. Her thin fingers twisted together nervously. Truong looked between them, feeling torn. He knew she loved him sincerely, yet he sensed she was hiding a truth too heavy to reveal. A breeze stirred through the mango leaves, whispering like a distant memory. Truong rose slowly, his voice low but resolute. If I once had a family, if there was someone important to me, then I want to remember. I want to know why I'm here and why I forgot everything. His foster mother looked up, tears pooling in her eyes. Truong, if you remember everything, will you leave me? The question froze him. He didn't know how to answer. He wanted to reclaim his past, but he didn't want to hurt the woman who saved him, who held him together when he was at his most broken. The doctor stepped forward. The people you once loved, they might still be waiting for you. Time passes, but love doesn't disappear easily. Truong closed his eyes, and in the darkness, he heard it again. A woman crying. A child calling his name. An unfinished wooden house, glowing faintly like a memory begging to be found. When he opened his eyes, he whispered, "I think someone really is waiting for me." His foster mother covered her mouth sobs, shaking her shoulders. She had always known this moment would come. The doctor spoke softly. "I can help you, but this journey will be painful. Are you ready?" Truong turned toward the horizon where the sun was rising behind the mountains. His hands clenched. His voice was steady. "I'm ready. I want to know who I am and who's waiting for me." His foster mother looked away, trembling. That morning sunrise was more than just a new day for Truong. It was the opening of fate, a turning point leading him back toward tiêunu and toward little Diêp, who had never stopped waiting for his father. That afternoon, the sky was painted a soft shade of gold. Truong sat alone on the wooden porch. On the table before him lay the items the doctor had brought earlier: a few old photographs, a pen, and a worn-out notebook. The wind carried the faint smell of cooking smoke from the neighbor's house, and in that exact moment, Truong's chest tightened sharply. He closed his eyes. One image, then another, then a third, flickered to life so faint he couldn't tell whether they were memories or just illusions. A small kitchen, the rhythmic tapping of a knife against a cutting board, a girl standing with her back to him, her hair tied up neatly, her silhouette slim and gentle. Truong snapped his eyes open, breathing hard. The image vanished instantly, leaving behind a stabbing ache he couldn't explain. He stood up, stumbling slightly toward the old well behind the house, as if trying to run from that overwhelming sense of familiarity. But the more he tried to escape, the faster the memories chased him. When he bent down to scoop water and wash his face, his own reflection made him freeze. Not because of his face, but because, for a split second, another image overlapped his reflection. A little boy hugging his leg, shouting joyfully. "Daddy!" The metal bucket slipped from his hand and clattered loudly. Water splashed everywhere. Truong stood frozen, as if struck by lightning, his heart pounding wildly. "Daddy!" The voice was crystal clear. Not faint, not distant, as though the child had just called out right beside him. He grabbed his head as a wave of pain pierced through his temples. His knees nearly gave out. In that hazy moment, he saw himself running on a dusty village road, a tiny hand gripping his, a woman running behind them, laughing, her voice bright as sunlight. "Truong, wait for me." That voice, just hearing it, made his eyes sting. He whispered to himself, trembling, Who is that? Who's calling my name?" Then suddenly, a memory surged forward, sharp as a blade. A stormy night. He stood at the door of a wooden house. The same girl, sobbing, her voice breaking. "Don't go. Truong, please don't leave me." Truong shot upright as though pulled back from a dark abyss. His breath came in ragged bursts, his shirt drenched in sweat. Just then, his foster mother stepped onto the porch. "Truong, what's happening to you?" He turned toward her, his eyes red, not from the pain, but from the flood of emotions that hit him too fast, too violently. His voice trembled in a way she had never heard. "Mother, I saw a woman with a child calling me their father." His foster mother froze. She couldn't say a word. She just stared at him, as though something precious she'd been holding on to had slipped through her fingers. Truong walked toward her, gripping the doorframe as if it were the only thing keeping him standing. I don't remember their faces, but I remember the voices. I remember how it felt. So clearly, Mother. He held his head and exhaled shakily. I think I had a family. Those words crushed her. She knew this moment was coming, but hearing it from his own mouth felt like the ground beneath her feet had collapsed. After a long silence, she nodded slowly, her voice breaking. If someone is truly waiting for you, then you must go find them, Truong. Truong looked up. For the first time since the day he lost his memory, his eyes were no longer empty. There was pain, there was longing, and something deep, something unmistakably real. But I don't know where to start. She placed a trembling hand on his shoulder. The first memory has returned. The rest will find their way back. As if responding to her words, Truong suddenly heard something inside his mind. Not a memory, but something like a promise. I'll wait for you, no matter how long it takes. He froze. A sharp ache struck his heart, and he knew that voice was real. The voice of someone he had once loved more than his own life. A strong gust blew through the bamboo grove, nearby the rustling leaves, sounding like someone calling his name from a faraway place. Truong closed his eyes. Lytieunu, he wasn't sure where he had heard that name, but the moment he spoke it, a crushing pain gripped his chest. That was it. His first real memory finally returning. Late afternoon. The unfinished wooden house lay quietly in the middle of the orange garden, the place that once overflowed with laughter from three people, Truong, Lytieunu, and little Dewey. Today, only two of them were there. Lytieunu was hanging a freshly washed curtain. Her hands trembled slightly in the chilly evening wind. How long had it been since she last heard his voice? How long had she been forcing herself to believe this was all fate? Dewey sat on the porch, holding the wooden toy car Truong had carved with his own hands. He asked softly, "Mom, do you think Dad still remembers me?" The question stabbed straight through her heart. Lytieunu swallowed hard, brushed his hair gently, and whispered, "Dewey, sometimes your dad just goes far away for a little while. He will find his way back." But even she didn't believe her own words. Every night, she still woke up from dreams, hearing footsteps that never existed, hoping it was him, only to realize it was just the wind. She looked up at the sunset glowing red behind the hills. The wind carried scents of wood bamboo and soil, familiar smells tied to him. Suddenly, she shivered. Her heart thumped violently, unexpected, sharp, and unmistakably real, as if someone had just called her name. She spun around, looking toward the dirt road leading out of the village. No one. Only the bamboo leaves, swaying gently. But in that fleeting second, she felt something real, something familiar, something that belonged to him. It felt like Truong's breath on her shoulder every morning, like the way he used to call Nu, "I'm home," like his warm fingers brushing hers, soft, honest, and enough to make her heart tremble. Tears welled up without warning. Dewey ran to her, grabbing her hand. "Mom, why are you crying?" She shook her head, but her heartbeat was pounding so fiercely, it scared her. "No, Mommy just..." She couldn't finish her sentence, because right then, Inside her mind, a voice echoed. Not the wind, not a memory. A voice so faint, yet so familiar, it nearly knocked her off her feet. Tiêunu, she staggered back, one hand gripping the wall. No. It can't be. I can't be hearing this. Dewey blinked at her, confused. Mom, who's calling you? Tiêunu opened her eyes wide, feeling a cold shiver down her spine. That wasn't imagination. It wasn't a dream. The feeling was the same as the day he proposed to her. The same as when he hugged her tightly before leaving for duty. The same as the night he walked out without warning, leaving behind too many words he never had the chance to say. She pressed a hand to her chest, clutching her shirt. Dewey, she whispered, voice trembling. I don't think your dad ever left us. The wind blew again, stronger this time, making the curtain flap wildly. Dewey's eyes lit up. So, Dad is still alive. Tiêunu didn't answer immediately. Her gaze drifted to the long dirt road glowing beneath the falling sun. And in that moment, with a sensation powerful enough to raise goosebumps across her skin, she knew. He's alive, not blind hope, not wishful thinking, but a connection, an invisible thread still binding their hearts through distance, through time, through memories buried and broken. She wiped her tears and smiled gently. Dewey, Mommy believes your dad is trying to find his way back to us. The boy hugged his wooden toy tightly. Then I'll wait for Dad. Mom, you'll wait with me, right? Tiêunu nodded, though her eyes still lingered on the road. Yes, I'll wait, no matter how long it takes. And at that same moment, somewhere deep in the mountains, Truong stood by a riverside, clutching his chest, not from pain, but from something returning, something familiar. A name whispered in the back of his mind. Tiêunu. He didn't know why he said it out loud. He didn't know who she was, but in his dim, fragmented eyes, a faint light flickered, the first spark, guiding him back to the love he once lost. Nightfall. The small house glowed under a warm yellow light, yet the air felt heavier than usual. Truong sat at the table, a cup of hot tea steaming in front of him. His foster mother stood quietly at the kitchen doorway watching him. She knew ever since that afternoon when he panicked, describing the images flickering in his mind, that something important was approaching. Something she had both feared and waited for. The doctor returned later that evening carrying a thick briefcase. He stepped inside, removed his glasses, and stared at Truong for a long moment before speaking. Truong, I need to examine you again. You said earlier that you saw voices, images, correct. Truong nodded gently, his fingers intertwined. And a feeling that someone very important is waiting for me. His foster mother's hand trembled. The doctor saw it, understood it, but chose to go straight to the core of the matter. He pulled out a stack of papers, spreading them across the table, brain scans taken months earlier. These were taken right after you woke up. The regions of your brain related to emotional memory were completely suppressed. Truong didn't speak, but his eyes flickered. The doctor placed another scan next to it. And this is from the scan I took just last week. His foster mother stiffened. You scanned him again without telling me. I wanted to be certain before saying anything. He showed signs of recovery, but I didn't want to raise false hope. Then he turned toward Truong, voice steady and clear. But now, after what you described today, I can say with certainty that your memories are about to return completely. The room fell silent, so silent, it felt like the air itself stopped moving. Only the rustling of bamboo leaves outside broke the stillness. Truong tightened his hands. But why now? The doctor sat down across from him, looking straight into his eyes. Because you've reconnected with your emotional memory. That is the strongest form of memory. It doesn't need clear images. It only takes a scent, a sound, or... He paused. Someone important thinking of you. Truong frowned softly. Someone important. The doctor nodded firm. Emotional memory resurfaces only when there is a connection. Someone out there is calling you, thinking of you, repeating your name in their heart. His foster mother flinched because she knew. There was only one person who had been waiting for Truong all these months, one person who had never given up. Suddenly, Truong felt his heart tighten, pulled by an invisible thread. This afternoon, I really heard someone calling my name. He pressed a hand to his chest, voice trembling. That feeling, it was real. Like I once held her hand. The doctor opened his briefcase again, taking out a small device shaped like an electric pen. Let me check your nerve responses. Truong extended his hand. The doctor tapped the device along key pressure points on his arm. But what stunned the doctor wasn't the reaction of Truong's hand. It was his eyes. Because each time the device touched a nerve, Truong flinched as images flashed violently in his mind. A wooden door swinging open. A familiar laugh. A white dress fluttering in an orange grove. A child's voice calling, "Daddy!" Truong jerked his hand away, gasping. I saw it. I saw her hair, her voice, and a little boy. The doctor shot to his feet, visibly shaking with emotion. Exactly. That's the clearest sign. Your brain is reopening the deepest memory layers. You only need one more catalyst, and everything will return. His foster mother's voice quivered. Catalyst? What do you mean? The doctor looked at her, then at Truong, his expression grave, yet hopeful. You must meet the person who exists in your memories. Truong froze. His breath caught halfway. The doctor continued, voice low but powerful. You once loved someone so deeply that just her thinking of you is already pulling your memories back. Heat spread through Truong's chest. A name hovered in his mind, fragile, trembling, but unbearably painful. Lytieunu. His foster mother covered her mouth as tears streamed down her cheeks. The doctor nodded slowly, eyes sharp. Yes, her. See her again, and everything will open like a floodgate. Truong stood up abruptly, swaying slightly. I have to find her. His foster mother rushed to hold him steady. Truong, please. You just remembered a little, and it hurts so much. If you remember everything at once, can you handle it? He looked into her eyes, eyes that had raised him, protected him. But now, for the first time since losing his memory, his gaze was filled with unwavering determination. I'm not afraid of this pain. I'm only afraid She's been waiting for me too long." The doctor watched him with genuine admiration. "You're ready. This will be the final journey to reclaim who you are." A gust of wind shook the door, the sound echoing like a heartbeat. The sky outside darkened, but in Truong's eyes, for the first time, there was a spark of light. He didn't know what he would face. He didn't know what truths were waiting, but he knew one thing with absolute certainty. Someone was waiting for him, and he had to go back. The next morning, a thin layer of white mist covered the mountains like the breath of the forest itself. The early season wind carried the scent of damp soil and wildflowers like the smell of memories Truong was desperately trying to recover. He slung a small backpack over his shoulder and stepped down the wooden porch of his foster mother's house. In his eyes was a determination he hadn't shown since the day he lost his memory. The doctor stood by his motorbike, studying a map before looking up. "Based on the fragments you described, your old village should be to the south, near the line of wind-swept bamboo." Truong nodded, placing a hand over his chest. His voice dropped. "I don't remember clearly, but I have this feeling I've walked that road before." And the moment he said it, a faint tightening ran through his chest, as if somewhere someone was quietly thinking about him. On the other side of the hill, Lytieunu was also getting ready to leave home. She wrapped a scarf around her neck, told Diêp to stay with his grandmother, and lifted a basket of oranges for the market fair. Sunlight filtered through the trees and brushed across her face, making her pause in front of the unfinished wooden house. Every wooden plank still carried Truong's fingerprints. A sudden sensation made her turn sharply toward the distant hills. "Why do I feel so close to him today?" She laughed at her own thought, yet her heart was beating far faster than usual. Truong begins the journey. He and the doctor stepped into the dirt path, still wet with morning dew. Mist clung to the bamboo forest on either side, drifting like soft white curtains, trying to embrace them. Everything looked so familiar, it sent a chill through Truong. He ran his hand gently along a bamboo stalk, and instantly, a memory slammed into him, a tiny hand grabbing his, laughter ringing through the bamboo. A child calling Daddy. Truong staggered and had to grab the bamboo to keep himself upright. The doctor hurried toward him. "You remembered something." Truong breathed hard. I heard a child's voice. So clearly. His chest tightened, heart pounding like it wanted to burst free. Just then, the sound of wooden wheels echoed from the end of the path. A woman passed by, with a basket of oranges rattling in the back of her cart. Her conical hat covered most of her face, so Truong only glanced briefly. But as she passed, the faint scent of orange blossoms drifted through the mist. Truong froze, his heart clenched painfully. This scent, he knew it in his bones. Yet he didn't know why he knew it. He turned sharply to look, but she was already gone, swallowed by the bamboo. The doctor asked, "What's wrong?" Truong answered, voice trembling, "I felt something very familiar at the same moment not far away." My saris. Lytieunu was pedaling her bicycle down the opposite path when suddenly she squeezed the brakes hard. Her heart lurched, as if someone behind her had whispered her name. She turned around only to see the empty, misty road. She placed a hand over her chest. How strange. Why do I feel him so close? She didn't know that just a few dozen meters away, behind the bamboo curtain, the man she loved was standing on the other side. One turn, one veil of mist, one heartbeat. But they still couldn't see each other. Fate pushes them closer. A sudden gust of wind swept through. The basket of oranges behind Tiêunu rattled, and one ripe fruit tumbled out, rolling slowly into the bamboo grove. It stopped right at Truong's feet. He bent down and picked it up. And the moment his fingers touched the orange, a sharp memory pierced straight into his heart. A night under the warm glow of an oil lamp. The same girl placing an orange into his hand. Her smile warm and bright. "Eat this so you'll have strength for tomorrow." Truong gasped, breath shaking. The doctor rushed over. Another memory. Truong clutched the orange, his hand trembling violently. "I saw a woman, someone very close to me, someone who loves me deeply." He looked in the direction where the orange had rolled from toward the exact path Tiêunu had taken. He couldn't see her. She had no idea he was right there. But the small orange in his hand was the first red thread pulling them back together. Meanwhile, Tiêunu stopped her bicycle, checked the basket, and frowned. One is missing. But strangely, she didn't feel annoyed. She felt light, as if she had just given away something precious. She smiled softly, her eyes glowing with a quiet hope. Maybe I really am going to see him again. Two people, two hearts that once thought they had lost each other forever. Now, walking the same road, separated only by a curve, a thin curtain of mist, and a single destined heartbeat. They were closer than ever, yet neither of them knew.